On Wednesday, U.S. agencies seized an oil tanker off the coast of Venezuela.
And we've learned the United States has seized a second vessel off the coast of Venezuela.
Now, on Saturday, the U.S. Coast Guard seized a vessel suspected of carrying oil subject to U.S. sanctions.
A billion-dollar carrier nearly outfoxed by wooden boats, civilian hulls, hidden RPGs, and a crowded sea lane that turns ROE into a trap. You're on the bridge of USS Ewima. Fire first and risk an international incident, or hold and watch your sensors die. We'll break down the Ghost Fleet's radar-absorbing approach, the Port-Side Blackout, and the moment a 150 dB LRAD and a low-skim MH 6DS run try to buy seconds. Which call keeps a capital ship alive? Comment your choice below. Before we move on, I'd like to ask you a small favor. If you appreciate this content, please take a second to like this video and subscribe to the channel. Over 98% of you watch the videos without subscribing. It costs you nothing, but it makes a huge difference to us. So, did you click the subscribe button? Great. Thank you so much. Now, back to the video. Why does a billion-dollar carrier group hesitate when plywood hulls close fast? The answer isn't fear. It's law. On the bridge, you're hunting for one thing: positive ID. Not a guess, not a vibe. Something you can defend after the smoke clears. But the lane is full of legitimate traffic: coasters, trawlers, tugs. Intent is murky, radios are noisy, and the small boats keep shaving seconds off your decision loop. Every tick favors the swarm. Every pause tightens the legal noose. Meanwhile, the Ghost Fleet bleeds into the merchant stream. Wood and fiberglass soak radar energy. Returns look like rain squalls, not threats. You hold fire, or you own the incident. That's the trade. ROE brings 3 locks to the trigger. Necessity: do you have to fire now, or can you deter? Distinction: are you hitting a combatant, not a bystander? Proportionality: will your shot cause more harm than the threat you're stopping? Each test takes thought, proof, and a clean shot line. Range collapses while you think. Boats don't wait for checklists. Think of radar like a lighthouse that loves steel. It shines, it marks, it tells you where the big hulls live. These boats are driftwood in a storm. There, then gone, lost in whitecaps and side lobes. They show up only when they're too close to ignore. Now layer in the games at sea level. AIS Gaps leave nameless blips sliding through the lane. Some lights look right until they don't. Wrong color sectors, timing that smells spoofed. Mixed speeds scramble the plot. One hull idles beside a trawler while another sprints the seam between wakes. Real attackers vanish into a sea of false positives, and your best sensors keep handing you maybes. Venezuelan intent is simple and cruel. Hide RPGs and manpads in plain sight. Make the crowd your shield. Force the first shot to look like a war crime. A shoulder-fired tube angled over a pile of nets doesn't read as a launcher until the silhouette pops and the backblast kicks. By then, your firing arc is a lawsuit waiting to happen. The formation tells the rest of the story. A decoy wing fans out where you expect trouble, chatting on open channels, baiting the eye and the fire lanes. Meanwhile, the main wing shades left, drifting toward the port arc where your sensor stack lives. They don't need armor to win. They just need you to miss what matters. Then a gamble lands. A decoy-led push pulls your watchers and your optics. In the noise and glare, a lead boat hammers an RPG toward the superstructure, not the hull. The blast chews at the electro-optical cluster on the port side. Half the picture goes dark at the worst moment. You feel it on the net. Tracks drop, bearings blur, ranges start to lie. When sensors fail, ROE flips roles. It stops shielding you and starts caging you. You can't prove intent with a blind eye. You can't separate a predator from a ferry with a smeared scope. You need time to rebuild the picture, but time is what the boats are stealing. So the carrier reaches for tools that punish ears and nerves, not flesh. You shift from killing to control. You aim to break rhythm, not ribs, to unspool the swarm before it gets the clean shot it wants. That's the first step of counter-escalation, and it starts with sound, rotor wash, and water. What do you fire when you can't fire? You target senses, geometry, and the sea itself. With the port side eye shot out, the Ewima stops chasing a perfect picture and starts buying time. The job shifts from kill to control. Break the swarm's rhythm, claw back seconds, and keep the first lethal trigger on safe until you can do it clean. Boats press inside the comfort bubble where guns like predictability. They don't give it. Night chop lifts and drops narrow bows. Hulls bounce, optics smear, and sightlines vanish behind spray. One tube pointed at the electronic stack can gut command and control faster than a missile ever will. You feel that risk in your chest with each closing wake. So the bridge orders sound. The LRAD comes online, a tight beam that hits like a migraine and a siren in one hit. It aims to make helmsmen wince, gunners flinch, crews grab rails instead of triggers. It's not a bullet. It's nausea and pain used like a baton. Some boats peel, hands to ears, helms wandering. Others don't. They plan for noise. Headsets go on. The line tightens again. Meanwhile, an MH-60S drops to the weeds. The pilot schemes at mast height, maybe lower, spotlight drilling cones of glare straight into open bows. Rotor wash piles water into the faces of gunners. Wakes fold back on themselves. Aim breaks for a beat. The helicopter takes immediate return fire. Tracers arc hot and ugly. The evasive jink that follows settles the legal debate about intent. Civilian disguise is over. The fight is declared by their rounds. Close-range gunnery still suffers. Over water at knife fight distance, windows are short and angles are wrong. Targets vanish behind the ship's own spray, then pop 2 lengths closer. Ricochet risk off the skin of the sea is real, and friendly traffic still threads the arcs. Even with good sights, small errors grow fast. You wait for clean lanes that don't come often. Then the twist lands. A lead hull fires a rocket at the electronic stack. The ship lives, but the sting is real. Non-lethal bought seconds, not safety. The message is clear: disrupt or bleed. So the helmsman throws steel. Hard starboard. Flank speed. 40,000 tons bite the water and carve a wall. A standing ridge rears up off the quarter, an artificial surf that rolls down the lane. Small hulls hit it sideways and lose their planing grip. Bows dig. Props cavitate. Formation timing shreds without a single round touching a hull. The effect ripples through the swarm. Boats drift out of mutual support. Decoys can't mask when spacing blows out. The gaps are finally real. Now the close-in weapons can pivot roles. Short bursts track clean targets, not rumors inside clutter. LRAD holds a few heads down. The helicopter sets its pass for noise, light, and wash, not heroics. It all stacks. Seconds turn into shot windows. A heavy contact pushes through anyway, a reinforced lead boat with steel on the nose. It shrugs off splash and stray .50 fire and claws to 400 meters. This is where restraint hands off to decisive force. The last guard on the gate wakes up, and its job isn't advice. It's verdict. The swarm, once tight and ghosted, is now ragged. Boats fight the sea as much as the ship. Non-lethal pressure, rotor wash, and wake geometry have created order in the chaos. That order favors you. It gives your lethal tools clean air, clear arcs, and fewer bystanders inside the line of fire. With lanes open and targets staggered, close-in weapons get to work. A Harrier's jet blast adds raw push, blowing spray and slamming bows off aim. The pause is gone. The window is here. If you want the mindset behind these calls, subscribe now. Asymmetry lives in the scene between ROE and ID. Kill chains need proof. Swarms erase proof. When sensors blink, that seam widens. Non-lethal pressure, sound, rotor wash, wake walls, stitches it shut just long enough for clean shots. That's the lesson. Not flash. Discipline. You win seconds, then you win lanes, then you win. What would you have done on that bridge? Shoot early and eat the headline, or buy time with sound and speed? Comment your choice below. Stay with us. We dig into the tactics, the ethics, and the tools that keep crews alive. Subscribe and join a community that seeks to understand the realities of modern conflict.